Hey friend, I know you are like me and struggle with fears and anxieties, stressors in your mind. And one big one of those is the fear of failure. Yes. So we strive to do well, be well, live well. And oftentimes we are still left with this feeling of failing. And then after all the striving and the stress, even panic attacks, that I'm not good enough. Yeah. Well, God gave me this message for you and for me. I was in my Bible reading time with those feelings in the back of my head, and this message popped out like a Rhema. I pray this blesses and encourages you today like it did me. Let's go to battle. Before we get started, I need to know, is summer getting away from you? Have you wanted to be intentional, but the days, weeks, months are flying by? Y'all, it's July 2nd. I totally get it and get this feeling. I have had to be super intentional in planning my summer and each week because they're all different. There's no set routine that we can adapt to. So if you are feeling this way and you want to be intentional and live holistically well for the rest of your summer, then I want you to book me right now for a wellness accountability coaching session. As I'm intentional too, I only have select spots available for next week. But if that works for you, I would love to help you save July and August and live well for the rest of your summer to have more time, energy, and peace for the rest of it, and be intentional with those wellness goals, those wellness actions holistically well, not just talking your physical activity here. I'm talking your whole person, and I can help you do that. So I want you to book me right now for that session at theshanwright.com/coaching. Okay? I look forward to it. I cannot wait to help you save your summer. Hey mama, are you stressed by the lack of time in the day to do all the things? Are you feeling disconnected from God, your husband, and even your kids because patience and presence seem out of reach? Do you want a healthier body, mind, spirit, and home, but overwhelmed in where to start? Hey, I'm Shan Wright, daughter of the king, wife, mom to 4, RN, wellness coach, and I know very well what it feels like to want to live well, but about to lose it with my very blessed, full life. After realizing I can't pour from an empty cup, I tracked my way to whole body wellness and so much peace. If you are ready to cancel the stressed out life, learn tactical, intentional strategies as a mom wearing many hats, find more peace, confidence, and joy raising kingdom kids, then listen in. Come on, mama, together we got this. Really, God's got this. So go heat up that coffee again and turn your listening ears on. Let's chat. As a recovering perfectionist, which is where a lot of my anxiety stems from, I struggle with this overwhelming feeling of failure at times. Am I failing my kids as a mom? Am I failing as a wife? Am I failing as a friend? Am I failing as a podcaster and business owner? The whole big universal lie of I'm not good enough. This can also be interpreted as, am I a failure? And I know you struggle with this question too. Honestly, I haven't met many women who do not struggle with that lie. And recently I was asking this question of this new business of mine. Am I failing as a podcaster and as a coach? Is this business going anywhere? And I was in the Bible and God clearly spoke to me through a passage. And I love when this happens because I am in the chronological 1-year Bible. So the passage is already there, chosen for me. But God knows exactly where I am in my life. He knows exactly where I am in that day, what I need for that day. And mind you, I am always days late. I am not exactly where I should be on July 2nd. I'm actually like 7 days late because life happens, right? And you don't get to read as much as you want to. Anyway, God knows. And He knew that that day, even though I was late in the reading, I needed first Chronicles 28:20. And there I was, and these 4 steps popped out at me. These 4 steps were David instructing his son Solomon on the plan God gave him to build the temple. So he was telling his son, do this to succeed in building the temple. So, do you, mama, want to succeed in whatever you're doing in life? Do you want to not feel like a failure? Do you want to raise kingdom kids well? Do you want to succeed in a work-from-home business, being an entrepreneur, homeschooling, being just an honorable wife? Do you want to succeed in anything? Do you want to live well in anything in your life? Are you having a focus and you're feeling like, I'm actually failing at this thing that I'm trying to be good at? Well, then I want you to follow these 4 steps, okay? These are the 4 steps that popped out to me as I was reading this First Chronicles passage. Okay, David is instructing Solomon on what God told him, the importance of the huge task at hand, but that he was chosen and that it's his job to do. God had anointed him for the job. So that's number 1. That is step number 1, is to be courageous and do the work God has called you to do. If God told you to do it, then do it. No matter how scary, no matter the fears, no matter the challenges, obedience precedes the miracle. Are you praying for a miracle? Are you wanting to be, and it could be a big miracle, small miracle. Do you want to be successful in this one thing and you're praying about it? Then obey what God told you to do, because then the miracle comes from the obedience. So step forward in the face of the unknown, the scary, the fearful, and be courageous to decide to do the work. What's the work? The podcast, the business, the hard discipline, the hard conversation, the Bible study, the small group, whatever it is, whatever God has laid on your heart, called you to do, decide to do it. Decide that you are going to be courageous and do it. Step number 2 is to take the action. It's to do the work. You are deciding in step 1 to do it, and then the hard part is actually to do it. So many times we're convinced we need to do something, but we'll do it one day. Maybe sometime we'll get to it. When the opportunity presents itself, then we'll do it. Take this podcast, for example. It took me 18 months to take serious action from when I heard God called me to do it. 18 months. So friend, I get it. I know how hard it is to actually do the work, to actually take action, to feel the courage rising and actually do the thing. It took me 18 months, and I am actually not regretful, because I don't regret where God led me and all that I learned in that time. But had I started sooner, I don't know where I would be. I wish I had learned to act when I hear God call and to obey when I hear him call, right? Like, we want to be those who obey, trust and obey. Trust that what you hear is from God and that you have to obey what he asks you to do. He is instructing you. He instructed David in building the temple, told him to tell Solomon that Solomon is the one to build it. So what instructions has God given you to do? There's lots of them laid out in his word. And then what has he put inside of you? What does he put in your heart? What skills, talents, abilities, people has he put around you to lead you into this action, this calling, this job he's anointed you for? You have to obey. And that action might be asking him, what is it, God? What is this thing? I feel I have to do something. Is this the job for me? Am I supposed to do this work? And then do it. Step number 3 is don't be afraid. David's exact words are, do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord God, my God, is with you. He will not fail you or forsake you until all the work for the service of the temple of the Lord is finished. We will face challenges, trials, hard parts of doing whatever God has called us to do. That doesn't mean He isn't in it. It means He is. Just because there's something challenging in what He's called you to do does not mean He's not there in it. He is in it with you. He will not fail. Also, be encouraged by others. David is saying, I know my God will not fail you. Take my faith, borrow my faith and my confidence. I am so sure that God told me you will complete the temple. So keep going no matter what. And he's saying, my God, I have been there, son. I know you can trust my God. I've trusted Him my whole life, and He has never failed me. He will not fail you. So friend, talk to others who build into you, encourage you, and have strong faith. So you can press play on another Holistic Moms episode. Actually, you can listen to episode 32 on how you can use testimonies to increase your faith. Yes, I also want you to listen to testimonies. I want you to seek out those who have amazing, strong testimonies, who have built their faith on what God has done in their life, and then they'll share their testimony with you, and it will encourage you. It will increase your faith. And also, like I said, talk to others who build into you. When I got this word, that day I was reading my Bible and I got this word from God, I took it to my accountability group. Yes, I have one. As an accountability coach, I have an accountability group, and that we are all in this together. We're in the same business, the same line of work that we've all been called into by God. And I encouraged them with it. I said, friends, this encouraged me. I think this will encourage you today, because we are not alone. We have these feelings of feeling like a failure. You're not the only one that feels that way. You're not the only one that thinks she's failing her kids and not raising them to be great humans one day and adults, and that we're messing up. You aren't the only one. We're in this together. And that is why I've titled this podcast Holistic Moms with an S. We're in this together. We all want to live holistically well, and it takes a village. It takes a community. It takes others building into you, encouraging you, holding your hand, and walking you through it. Step number 4 is keep going until. Keep working until. And this is where so many of us quit. It's human nature to want to stop here and use whatever expectations, timeline you have in your head and say, it's not working. I must have heard God wrong. I must have messed up somewhere. It's not working. This isn't for me. This isn't my calling. I'm not called to this anymore. That does not what that means. Just because it does not go on your timeline and meet your expectations, what did God say? David knew this temple would get finished. He also knew it would take a long time from history of it being built. He also knew God was in control of all the work and that it would get done on His timeline. He says, He will not fail until it is finished. David lived his own life of wanting God to save him, of wanting God to pull through and do things. And he had submitted time and time again to God's timeline and kept his faith. He was anointed and appointed and called to be king way before he took that throne. That whole time he was calling out to God, God, save me from this attack. Save me from Saul. Save me and put me on the throne. I'm supposed to be king. I'm not supposed to be running for my life. And it took years and years. But he knew the entire time God would not fail him. So you have to keep your faith. Friend, keep your faith and keep going until. Go until. Don't be a quitter. Don't give up on what God has said. He's not going to give up. God doesn't give up. He will never fail. So you don't either. Hold on to that faith that God, my God, won't fail me. So I have to hold on. To hold on to whatever faith you have and to whatever you are believing for in success, whatever success you're believing for, and whatever goals you have, you hold on to them if he's called you to them. And he will not fail, so you don't either. You hold on to his hand the whole time. I know it's hard. I know. I've been there. I'm doing it too. It's hard, but we cannot give up until. We cannot quit until. We have to keep going until it is finished, okay? Until he says move on. Until he says, okay, I called you to that. You did the work, and now it's time to move on. Till he says that, you keep going, okay? And if you need a friend, a hand to hold on to, I'm here. So let me recap the steps. Step number 1 is be courageous. Be courageous and decide, God, what work are you calling me to? What are you calling me to do? Step number 2 is to take action in that. Take action in the work God has called you to. And hey, if you have kids, and you probably do if you're listening, that's good work he's called you to. He has called you to raise those kingdom kids. So if anything else, and you're not sure what else you need to be courageous in right now, you're not sure what else God's called you to, that is what he's called you to, right? And then step number 3 is don't be afraid. It's a scary world out there. There's lots of things that are to come and attack you for your goals and your wishes and your dreams. And don't be afraid, because God is with you. If he called you to it, he's with you every step of the way. Step number 4, keep going until it is finished, okay? So you hear me. You are inspired and encouraged, but you still need accountability. You do need it to do this. You want to do this. You want to keep going. You want to be encouraged. You want to take courage. You want to not be afraid, but you need that village. You need that hand to hold. You need that person alongside of you that's going to help you. It's going to hold you accountable, and that is me. And if you remember from the top of the episode, I only have a few sessions available next week, and then my availability jumps to the first week of August. But book me now for that session. I want to work with you. I want to help you be even more successful in whatever wellness goal you're going after, no matter the goal, with accountability. I am a wellness accountability coach, and I want to be yours and help you walk through these 4 steps together. Book me at theshanwright.com/coaching, and cannot wait to work with you. So also, the other way that you can take courage after listening to this episode and being inspired and encouraged is to share it with a friend who needs to hear it. You can share it via text message. Just take the link that you listen to and share it with a friend. You can share it in Facebook stories, Instagram stories. Tag me. I am on social media, Instagram at @theshanwright. And then if we're friends on Facebook, tag me there, because that helps so many other of your mom friends to see it and to say, hey, I want to go listen to that too. If she was encouraged, I bet I will be encouraged. I'm telling you, so many of us struggle with this lie and these questions of, am I failing at this thing called life? And I want to encourage all of you, okay? Because I know I need it. I need it too. And then if you want to write a review, so if you're on Apple Podcasts, it's like a little blue link at the bottom, write a review, or on Spotify, you can do it, wherever. You can write a review and post it. And then if I read that review live on the air, you have your chance to win a free coffee, okay? Free coffee on me just from writing a review. So please do that. That also helps share the show. And so other moms can be encouraged to live holistically well too. Okay, friend, that's all for today. I really pray this blessed you like it did me. Until next time, may the God of peace be with you. Shalom, shalom. Hey, Wellness Warrior. I pray that blessed you. And if so, it would bless me big if you would write a 5-star review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Not only would this make me super happy, but it will allow for others to find this show too. Also, I love to chat over on Instagram, so make sure to take a screenshot, share to your Instagram stories, and tag me at the Shan Wright, so I can see it and we can keep chatting and bring other moms to chat with us. Until we get to chat again, mama friend, may the Lord's face shine upon you and give you peace.